Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and today we're starting a series for a game called Save Jesus. So I figured for December, there might be a few thematic games that make sense around Christmas. Sadly, actually there kinda isn't. Like, it's a pretty big stretch to play a game as the adult Jesus. That would be a game closer to Easter. And there's, as far as I know, let me know in the comments if anybody else knows of any on Steam, there's like no baby Jesus games or birth of Jesus games or biblical games that are that listed at all. There used to be quite a few in the old 80s, several in fact, but they were also typically pretty bad, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game is kind of bad too. But I figured we'd try to remember the reason for the season and play this game. It makes the most sense to play it now than any other time. I guess I could have waited till Easter. Not even a lot of just in general Christmas games. Like, it's hard to find things that are... I haven't been able to find too many things that are even Christmas themed. Often what happens is there's a game with a Christmas mode that only unlocks around Christmas, or Christmas DLC, but not a full themed thing, which is very odd considering how games are often given during the Christmas holidays. Furthermore, I've not seen anything for any of the other holidays during December, so no Kwanzaa, no what is the one with the candles? Hanukkah, yeah. No Hanukkah. Sorry there. So let's play this. One of the reasons I will say, let's go ahead and start. This is kind of a cell phone game, puzzle game with Jesus just kind of being put in here for no reason, I think. We're literally, this really is more of an Easter game, trying to save Jesus by breaking things and killing the Roman soldiers trying to kill him, which we've seen plenty of these games. Apparently that's a failure though, so we can't hit... Oh, and that's a cow this time. We can't hit Jesus with the projectile. We can only hit the other guys. So the cow ends up there. Now, there's a very good reason why religious figures aren't prominently depicted or depicted at all in video games. It's because they can often be controversial, and because there are several countries that ban insulting any religious character, regardless of which religion you're talking about. In fact, very briefly, there was... acid blocks will destroy weapons. Interesting. There was a country, an entire country, that shut down Steam over a single game depicting something that the internet provider in that country, it seemed like, felt like might run afoul of a law. I'm not even sure the actual government got around to it. Simply there was a law that had been passed and they were afraid of what might happen. Interesting. And Jesus just ascends to heaven, and you get different things. The weird part about this is probably a cheap Unity game. But why does it have... why would the Unity store have pictures of Jesus and Roman soldiers? The music sounds fine, but it's not particularly... so thematically, I would suggest instead of this classical upbeat tempo game, you perhaps make a more of the Catholic Ave Maria style song playing. I bet those are more copyrighted. Crates can be moved. Okay. So here's a problem with a game like this. You don't want to have to hit something immediately, and that's exactly what's going on here, is that the immediate need to click on something as the level loads. And we have a bit of a conundrum here. How long is this game? We're still going through tutorials. Let's see. Space. Let's just get rid of all of these. And then click this and see what happens. And then let's do this. I guess that counts as a victory. I have not seen any real difficulty here. Let's see. If we do this, that won't work. So we have to kind of do this and just let it crawl. And that is a gross ball of skulls. And here's where I would make the argument that somebody is joking around and not being very serious about this. If this was an actual biblical game, which you could probably make a game that's not too far away from this, the only thing is you'd have to take out the depiction of Jesus being killed, and I imagine the violence. But if this was supposed to be an educational thing, why not have Bible verses come up? Some of the most famous things you would teach to little kids after each level. That's something you could easily copy and paste from one of the non-copyrighted. I can't believe there are still copyrighted versions of the Bible. But you know, this is weird because I don't know. Okay, I see. Now it makes sense. That was a little bit sneaky. Like, after each one of these levels, I think you would want to do a Bible verse. I think you could probably also make puzzles or at least scenes depicting actual scenes in the Bible. But yeah, we're not seeing anything like this. I think somebody probably just figured this would be funny. And I'm sure some people will find it offensive, even though they're dancing around the idea of intentionally killing Jesus to instead make the game focused around saving him. That's the whole name of the game, after all. I think you have to hit everybody. Now, is that a failure or a success?
You know how hard it was to set up all those traps?
And now it's gotten ridiculous. So here we have a cross here. This game would probably be considered rather offensive if it wasn't under Christianity by a lot more people. There'd almost certainly be a lot more outcry against it. And they also, it needs to be said, the Bible clearly says that, well, the Romans were occupying and were the actual people who executed Jesus in the Bible. The death sentence was called out for by, and the whole scenario was set up for by the priests of the one of the Jewish tribes. So putting it all on the Romans is slightly inaccurate, and if you want to study the Bible, you need to get things somewhat accurately. You need to get your facts straight. There's far too much ignorance and just assumptions. These balls are just stock images. And this is rather tricky. This one's rather tricky. Like, this is... It has gone from being pretty easy to rather difficult. Also, I'm not sure how much of this there is. And so you really do need that spacebar. But the goal is to kill this guy. You also get into some weirdness with when you're talking the story of the death and resurrection of Christ, because it's not something that Christians should want to undo or prevent, because it's only through the death and resurrection of Christ that the Bible says you're saved. And the Bible clearly implies that it was a predestined thing that had to happen. Interesting. Did I just collect a star with something? I think I did. So, even the whole story is actually rather complicated and odd, because it's like, this has to happen, we want this to happen, the crowd of normal Jewish people call for it to happen, the priests of the Jewish tribe, that is, I think, the Levites, wanted it to happen, God the Father wanted it to happen. Everybody wanted it to happen, except for at the very small moment of doubt in the garden by Jesus. Girders can be deadly ramps. Okay, so you have to do it like that. And these didn't matter at all. Yeah, the whole story is contradictory, honestly. Well, what do we do? Well, you don't do that. Do you do something like that? Like this. And then something like this. And then something like this. I guess that works. Unlike some of the more known games like Angry Birds or Cut the Rope, though, this really does feel more in lines with a not as well thought out version of that game. I'm not really feeling any puzzle. These don't feel very puzzly. They honestly just kind of feel pointless. go. Figured that one out on the fly. And you just spend 11 seconds on one of these puzzles, even if there was 100 of these right now. Like, that gets that. So I was supposed to do something like that, I imagine. So. And I guess I honestly just kind of want to get the game done with. So, like, I think you have to kind of balance. No, I guess you have to get rid of these first, and then deal with them later. So, like, this stays there. Then these all go. And then these all go. And then just get rid of that. Slightly complicated, sure. Took 35 seconds to solve that. And I just don't know. Here's the rock. Like, I just don't feel as if there's gonna be enough levels, or are we gonna hit 25? Like, we've collected 50 stars. If there's 100, we're halfway through already. If there's way more, let's see. So Jesus won't get hurt by that. Let's see. And see, I don't even know if it's worth your time to try to get all the stars. Like, if I do this, 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 and this, and do this, nothing happens. So unless I was supposed to do something like that and knock that out of the way, and knock that in the way, and knock that out of that way. It's like... So... Like, none of that makes any sense. Let's see, how many are here? 60. Wow. And see, I thought there was gonna be this had a chance. Much like the games I played that I got for free. I had hoped that they would have given me a chance. You can see this one is a little bit different than the rest of them. Of a game lasting for a long time. No, they're overlapping each other. Is what's happening here. Well. I think the idea is to get enough of these to go that direction so that it can just slowly crawl this way. Not a very satisfying solution to a puzzle that was actually pretty cool to look at. Not something I've really seen before.
That seems just a decoy.
And
what's the big?
Now we've got.
That Caesar's not real.
Let's see. Caesar, I don't think would have been even. I guess he was in charge at that time.
Somebody wants to play some hardball.
And then we've got some new futuristic guy. Like.
I think after I'm done with Jesus, I'm coming back for you. Look at you go. Pathetic.
We've got all these, and this is one of the apostles, I imagine.
Why are you always cutting into my business?
And very odd this game has any voice acting at all. Like, that seems ridiculous. And is this Mary Magdalene now? Didn't we already have a puzzle that was almost exactly the same as this? The only difference now is instead of going the short distance, it wants you to go the long distance. And when it gets down to this is really just Unity physics engine. Somebody playing with the Unity physics engine and trying to make a game around it, but not doing the quality assurance or the game testing that is really necessary to have something fun here. Like, there's just way too much of this where there are games that simply aren't fun. Like, this is boring. It would be boring as a cell phone game. It's boring as a PC game. It's playing off a pretty dumb joke that arguably is going to offend people for no reason. It's not thematically consistent with the balls. It's not thematically consistent with the background. Jesus was in a desert all of his life. In the Middle East. No tall pine trees or whatever kind of trees these would be, and snow in the background. Like, that makes no sense. Nobody bothered to even think about that. I guarantee it. Let's see. And I don't know really what I'm supposed to be doing. I guess maybe I'm supposed to hit that and then do this and then come down here. Interesting. I've got to shoot the ball fast. So this part probably doesn't even matter. This part and this part probably doesn't matter either. You hit this, you hope you get lucky with that part. You hit this, you shoot it, and you fire. And you move on. A little bit more preparation there. And how long, I wonder? We've got about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna spend an hour at most on this, and then I'll forever be done with it. Let's do this. Do this. Let's do this. 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 This and this. And that. And let's hope this works. Yep, 17 seconds to solve that puzzle. Well, I missed a star, but I solved it well enough. The wheel concept in a better game. It's just way too many Angry Bird clones or Angry Bird style games out nowadays. I am confused. Can I even get this? Like, I don't think I can get it. Like, this doesn't seem like it's going high enough, so I have to go over the top. Like that. Alright. This kind of reminds me of another game that... Let me ask this question. If I put this right here and knock Jesus off the edge, Jesus dies. So how does that help? It doesn't in that case, but... Kinda just have to get lucky. You kinda just have to get lucky. Let's see, take this and take this. And that does nothing. So let's try something like that. That doesn't strike me as... So, I think I actually do have to get it all the way this direction. It's just a lot of brick breaking in a game that kinda doesn't need any of this. This is rather dumb. Feels like a clicker. Let's see if we can get the ball rolling down this way. And in this puzzle, it's kind of stupidly focused. There we go. So that would have worked. Like, it's almost impossible to kill Jesus in this one. But way, way, way too much setup going on. Way, way too much setup. I wish there was a way you could save the game in its, like, position. here. See, I would have had to time that all the way over here and then timed it all the way back. Let me ask this question as we are halfway through this game right now. Can you skip? No, you can't. So we may actually find that it is simply a case of this being a game where the levels get crazy difficult and there's really no quality testing. Again, the background, Jesus would have never seen a cactus in his life. Well, I guess we've got one more video to make, so we'll come back next time. I really had hoped that this would have been a really long series, and this is probably just a good example of why probably in future Decembers I won't even bother to play 1 or 2 Christmas games and just play regular games. Or maybe I could think of something funny and thematically appropriate to be anti-Christmassy, because as far as Christmas and all of that, whether you're talking a non-denominational Happy Holidays Christmas or a highly Christian Christmas or any other religious Christmas, there's not a lot of options on Steam, and it seems kind of odd, but it also makes sense. Nobody wants to make controversy, and honestly, that's probably the right move. I'm also noticing, I think this game wants you to beat every single level with every single ball, because down here there is a different ball that lights up each time. That would be ridiculous. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.